Joining me on the line right now, he is the Warriors of Wrestling heavyweight champion and hopefully soon the number one contender to the Tier 1 Wrestling heavyweight title. He is Rude Boy Riley. Rude Boy, how you doing, man?
What's going on, dude? I'm pretty exhausted, just got off of work, so long day.
As always, man, the life of a wrestler never stops, right?
It's ridiculous. Since I started this, I kind of forget what sleep is almost.
I hear that. So, I mean, why don't we just get out of this right off the bat? You have a match coming up, their second show, October 2nd, from Queens, New York, Rumble in the Concrete Jungle. You are in a number one contendership match for the Tier 1 championship, going up against Joey Ace, the five-star stud. And, you know, at the first show, technically Joey Ace, he had a match that was a number one contenders match, and then management, because of some controversy that occurred in the match, you know, they decided that since you were in the four-way to crown the first champion, they decided, hey, why not put these two guys together? And, what do you think about that? Tier 1 Wrestling, obviously, their management having a lot of faith in you to put on some top-quality matches.
Well, first off, I just want to say that if there's anyone listening that hasn't seen Tier 1's first show, they need to get on that. And I'm not just saying that because I'm on the show, because I'm going to fight for the number one contendership. I'm saying that because this is one of the best wrestling shows I've ever been a part of. Tier 1 is definitely onto something, and their first show was absolutely incredible. And I'm really looking forward to their second show with a main event of Luke Hawx versus Tim Donst. First off, that's incredible before I even get to my match. So I have to face either Luke Hawx, if I beat Joey Ace, that is. I have to face either Luke Hawx or Tim Donst for the heavyweight title, which either of those guys are going to be a competitor. Wow. But first I have to go through Joey Ace, who I've seen in the ring multiple times. We've traded victories back and forth. Joey's one of my favorite opponents of all time. And, you know, we are friends outside the ring, but when it comes to Tier 1 and when it comes to the number one contendership, that's mine to win. So he could do whatever he wants. He could be 5 stars above the rest. He could be the 5-star stud Joey Ace. Doesn't matter because Rude Boy Riley is coming in with a purpose for Tier 1 Wrestling.
You know, speaking of all the opponents that you've had, you know, you faced Ken Anderson, Paul London, and recently the Impact champion, Ethan Carter III, ECIII. You know, what would it be? How was it, you know, having a match with anyone in the Indies right now, you know, it seems like you're having just a lot of success with a lot of talented guys. You know, not saying that other guys don't have names, but definitely names that a lot of casual, maybe mainstream wrestling fans would know. How's that been for you?
You know, it's pretty surreal because, I mean, like, my favorite wrestler of all time is Shelton Benjamin, and last month I got to wrestle him. Ken Anderson is someone I looked up to when I was younger. So it's pretty surreal to be in the ring with these guys. And then as recent as last weekend, I got to go one-on-one with the ECIII, like you just said. And it was pretty crazy. It was for the Warriors Wrestling heavyweight title versus the Impact heavyweight title. So watching these guys on TV and watching TNA for years, I wrestled for the Impact heavyweight title this weekend. So it's pretty surreal, and ECIII is a great guy, and I'm really excited about the match that we had. Once again, anyone that hasn't seen it needs to check that out. WarriorsOfWrestling.com will have the DVD up very soon. And it's not only was my match great, but it was the King of New York tournament, the first ever King of New York tournament. So it's definitely a show that you guys should pick up.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for, you know, and not necessarily something that's done all the time. So a lot of the talent's named in it, kind of known in that area. And I think a lot of people, a lot of wrestling fans, even if they're not in the Northeast, you know, they hear these names and they want to check them out. So you can all have them in that one tournament. If you do win the number one contendership and then either you face Tim Donst or Luke Hawx, you know, and say you defeat them, you could hold two of the top champions in New York wrestling right now. What would that mean to you?
You know, it's something I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's pretty crazy that that's a possibility because Warriors of Wrestling is my home, and Warriors of Wrestling means the world to me. And Tier 1 is a company that sees something in me and they have faith in me. So Tier 1 means absolutely everything to me. So to hold both of those titles at the same time would be an absolute honor. I do have a couple of tough challenges. Like I said, I have Joey Ace. And then past that, I would have either Luke Hawx or Tim Donst. And then the night after Tier 1 on October 2nd, on October 3rd, Warriors of Wrestling is having a show, and I have John Cannon. And then in December, I'm wrestling Jason Karloff for the Warriors of Wrestling heavyweight title. So, I mean, I definitely have a bumpy road ahead of me, so to say.
Yeah, you really can't look past anyone, you know, and you do, and you know, we just kind of talked about that. You're working almost every weekend. You're working really hard at what, you know, everything else you do during the week. I've been told that your mother is in attendance for some of your matches. Does that motivate you more? to have her be there? Because she's obviously she's brought you up, but it's kind of like this is your dream. You're kind of living it, but there's got to be that added pressure.
Dude, you just boosted her ego so much you have no idea. She's going to be listening to this, and this is all she's going to talk about. See, they even mentioned me on podcast, James. That's what's going to happen. Of course.
And it's not Rude Boy Riley that is the champion. It's her son that's the champion.
Exactly. No, but it means the world to me that my mother's there. I mean, she supported me since day one. She paid for my wrestling school when I was 16 years old. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be anything. And like you did say, I'm wrestling every single weekend. I'm going all over the country. I'm wrestling internationally, and she supports me no matter what, no matter where I'm going. She's always checking to see if I'm safe. Like, it may sound lame, or some people might think that's ridiculous, but you only have one mom, and I love my mother to death, and it's really special to me that she's there for a lot of these special moments, and she makes sure that she's there, and she goes out of her way to cancel plans, and especially if I tell her that it's something that's special to me, she's always there, which it's really cool.
Yeah, no, actually, I was looking on your Twitter, and, a few weeks ago, you were actually out here. Well, you were in my neck of the woods in Southern California, then you were in Hawaii. What were you doing out here? Were you just traveling? But I think you wrestled on a few shows, right?
Yeah, I wrestled for Santino Brothers mainly. They're awesome. I can't say enough good things about them. Absolute class act. It's run by Chaos from XPW fame. He's the man, just a great businessman. He's an incredible wrestler, obviously, but I was treated like gold, and I couldn't ask for anything better from those guys from the second I walked in to the second I walked out.
Speaking of, you're flying out there, and people flying you all over the place during the weekends, and Tier 1 Wrestling, they're kind of doing the same thing. I know that when they started, they were talking about, really being focused in the New York area. What do you feel about bringing in the freshness it provides to bring in guys that aren't necessarily considered regulars in New York?
I think it's pretty great. There's a lot of New York companies, and Tier 1 is trying to create a niche for himself, and I think that they're really, really going down the right path of it, because it's not just using New York talent. It's using New York talent and also using some of the best from around the country. Like, I'm very excited. Leo Rush is someone that I've seen come up. I wrestled with him at Sanctuary in Pennsylvania, and he's always been a very talented kid. So I'm really excited that especially he's on the show. And he's not from here, he's from Maryland, but he's a great kid with a really good attitude who's full of a ton of talent. So it's really cool to be able to mix it up with guys like that. It gives everyone an opportunity to branch out also, because let's say Leo Rush wrestles someone from New York likes Leo Rush, brings him to another company. Leo Rush likes that person, brings him to Maryland. That's how connections are made. So I think that this is a really good thing that Tier 1 is doing.
Yeah, and not to kind of bring that conversation down, but you talk about opportunities. You talk about Tier 1 trying to do something different. Covering this sport, there's I hear about a lot of things. There's always going to be politics in professional wrestling. That's just something that happens. When there are certain things that, we don't want to name any names. I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus, but just in general, because it happens all over. You have promoters pulling talent off of shows, kind of stuff like that. I mean, do you just try to stay clear of that? I don't want to say that you're a young rookie or anything, because again, you're a champion. You've done, you paid your dues, quote unquote, but you're still relatively young in the business. What are your thoughts on that, or do you just try to avoid all of that mess?
Yeah, I mean, I do my best to try to avoid it. I try to be friends with everyone. I understand how. First off, this is the wrestling business, and when it comes down to business, there's money involved, so there's going to be competition. And with competition, there's going to be tactics, whether underhanded or not, that are going to happen. And, I think everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and everyone's entitled to do what they want to do. So I just try to take a step back and not be a part of that necessarily, because I don't see myself staying, quote unquote, on the indies forever. And a lot of these guys get too mixed up with the drama on the indies that they forget what the bigger picture is. And I'm just looking at the bigger picture. So the drama on the indies for me is something it's not even in the back of my mind, because I try to stay away from it as much as I possibly can. Although, of course, you get mixed up, and this one says that, another says another thing. But in my opinion, the best thing to do is completely stay out of it and just do what's best for you, do what's best for your personal business, whether you're a professional wrestler, you're a ring announcer, you're a promoter, whatever is best for you as a person and your future of your career, wherever you want to go, I think that that's where you need to stay. So getting mixed up in the politics isn't the best idea.
Pretty wise words there. We appreciate your time, Rude Boy. Last question. It is coming up, Rumble in the Concrete Jungle, October 2nd. That is on Friday, Queens, New York. Tickets are still on sale. You can go to tier1wrestling.org or look them up on Facebook. Any final words for Joey Ace in your number one contendership match?
Joey Ace, we've been up and down the roads together. We've wrestled in every borough in New York City. We have had killer matches. We have stolen shows. We have had crowds come up to us and tell us how good our matches are. October 2nd, Tier 1 Wrestling, everything is going to be topped that night. I know that Joey and I are both coming in with a goal, and that same goal is the number one contendership for the Tier 1 Heavyweight Championship, and we will go to any lengths to achieve that. And as you saw, Joey Ace might use some underhanded tactics to get to that. Rude Boy Riley will not. So Joey, on October 2nd, I will see you in Queens. I will see you at our studios. I will see you at Tier 1 Wrestling. And I just want to thank you for having me on the podcast.
Thank you, Rude Boy. Appreciate it.